This happened to me about 5 years ago when I was 22, working night shifts as a janitor at a small community college in northern Illinois. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, and I liked that I didn't really have to deal with people. Or at least, I thought I didn't. The college wasn't huge, just 3 main buildings: admin, classrooms, and the science wing. I was mostly responsible for the science wing. 4 floors, long empty hallways, and a basement that always smelled like mildew and bleach. The graveyard shift ran from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and I usually didn't see a soul the entire time. But around mid-October, I started noticing little things that felt off. At first, it was small stuff. Trash bins knocked over in classrooms I hadn't been in yet. Lights on in rooms I was sure I had turned off. A faucet running when I knew no one else was in the building. I figured maybe maintenance was checking stuff before I got there, or one of the professors was working late and forgot to lock up. But one night, I found a screwdriver on the floor of the 3rd floor men's bathroom, and it wasn't ours. I keep all my tools locked in a caddy I roll with me. This one was older, rusty, and had electrical tape wrapped around the handle. It looked sketchy. I tossed it in the lost and found and didn't think much more of it. Then came the night I saw him. It was a little after midnight. I was on the 2nd floor, buffing the floors near the biolabs, when I heard a metallic clink from down the hall, like something being dropped. I killed the machine and stood still for a second. The sound came again. Not loud, but definitely metal on tile. I figured someone dropped something in a classroom and maybe forgot to leave. I walked down the hall and peeked into the rooms one by one, and that's when I saw the door at the end of the hallway, the fire exit, slowly swing shut. I didn't hear an alarm. That door should have been locked, and it definitely shouldn't have opened without setting something off. I went over, opened the door, and looked down the stairwell. Empty, but I swear I could feel someone watching me. I wrote it off as being tired, went back to work, and didn't mention it. But from then on, things got worse. Over the next week, I started finding food wrappers in the utility closets. Bottles of water, a couple cans of soup, all tucked behind shelves like someone had been staying there. Once I even found a half-burned candle on a paper plate. No matches, no lighter, just the candle. I reported it to campus security and they said they'd look into it, but I could tell they didn't take it seriously. They said maybe a student was squatting or using the rooms to crash during finals, but I wasn't convinced. Something felt wrong. Like whoever was doing this wasn't just desperate, they were watching. The final straw came 2 nights later. I was in the basement. There's a boiler room down there and a couple locked cages where the school stores old lab equipment. I rarely had to go down there unless there was a leak or something. But that night, I had to check on a fuse box after a power flicker. The basement is creepy on a good day. Low ceilings, flickering lights, and it always feels about 10 degrees colder than the rest of the building. I walked through the maze of pipes and storage racks and found the fuse box. Everything looked normal. But as I was about to leave, I heard something behind one of the cages. Breathing. It wasn't loud, but it was steady, slow, heavy, like someone trying to stay quiet. I froze. My flashlight caught the edge of the cage, and I saw, I swear to God, a shadow move behind a stack of crates. I called out, "Hello? This area is restricted. You're not supposed to be down here." No response, just silence. Then, after a beat, one single, soft step on concrete. I turned and ran. I didn't even lock up. I sprinted to the security office and made them come down with me. We searched the basement for over an hour. Nothing. No person. No sign of forced entry. But that same old screwdriver, the one I'd tossed in Lost and Found, was sitting on top of the crate, right where I saw the shadow. That was my last night working there. Later, I found out through someone in maintenance that a few years earlier, a man was caught living inside the school. He had snuck in through a broken basement window and had been living in the utility closets and storage areas for months, maybe longer. No one knew how long he'd been there, or if he ever really left. He was never arrested, just escorted off the property and told not to come back. But they never fixed that window, and I'll never forget the sound of that breathing, slow, steady, just beyond the light.